Hi there, it's Perry, and I'm going to show you how to make a job aid in Microsoft Word for EdTech 540. I'm going to start by showing you what the final product looks like. This is just something I built to help show as an example. Let me turn off my show hide here. This job aid has a purpose of helping users analyze help desk calls. It's got a version right up here at the top that shows when the job aid was last updated. It has a purpose at the top of the job aid to explain to the user why they're using these directions. I even put these directions explain how to X, Y, and Z. That's something I need to fill in. I know that as I'm developing the job aid, I'm not really sure exactly what I need to say there, but at the end of the development, I can fill that back in. Let me go bump this down a little bit so you can see what the whole thing looks like. This one so far is 3 pages. You can see that it's got a consistent look and feel throughout. It's organized by different sections. For instance, you see a part A, a part B, and then on the third page there's a part C. You can also see that there's numbered steps, so this is a step-by-step job aid. It's got screenshots. What's really nice about this is that all of the screenshots line up with the indentation, so it's pretty clear and easy to see as far as the alignment goes. All of the different steps, as much as possible, start with actions, like review the records, double click the worksheet tab, click on any cell. So as much as you can, try to use actions at the beginning of each step to prompt the user exactly what they need to do when they get there. This job aid also has a footer that currently says for internal use only, and then the title of the job aid at the bottom right with the version and the page number. This helps when you go back to update the job aid to a new version because you need to make some fixes or some changes have occurred. That's going to help you and your users understand which version they should be looking at for the most current information. We could have put a logo somewhere at the top in the header that will appear on multiple pages. That's nice if you're doing this for your organization, so keep that in mind. Alright, so what we need to do is get started on a new one and show you how this was created. So I'm going to close this existing one out and open a new Word document. Alright, in our new Word document, I'm going to turn the show hide on. This is a tool that allows you to see all the times that I hit enter on my keyboard and it shows you the paragraph marks. I'm going to paste in some content I've already prepared, and let's just go ahead and show you how to apply some styles to this content without having to really do anything beyond what's built into Word. For this first title, I'm going to make use of the title style. For the versioning and the date that it was updated, I'm going to use the subtitle style. And then for this next section, where it has the different description of how to use this document, I'm going to use the emphasis style. And let's go ahead and fix that word open right here. So you can see already that this is an easy first step. It's just a matter of using the right language. Notice that I started the title with a verb, analyzing help desk calls. I could have built that out even a little bit more, but I felt that that was appropriate. I don't need to say anywhere on here that this is the analyzing help desk calls job aid. I don't need to put that in the title. But you might want to say the purpose of this job aid is, and continue on to let the user know. Next, I've organized this into 3 parts. This is a job aid that is basically a flow of steps, but it's chunked because the first thing the user needs to learn how to do is open a spreadsheet. And these are the exported call records. After they do that, they need to create a pivot table, and then they need to analyze the data using the pivot table that they create. So I've decided to set this up as 3 separate parts. So I'm going to put this back on normal text. Did I get it? Normal. Alright, and we're going to paste in, let's clear this out here. We're going to paste in the text that I've already prepared. Alright, so I've got part A, I've got some steps, and I need to go ahead and apply some formatting. So for this part A, I'm going to use heading 1. And I've got this extra paragraph mark up here that I can get rid of. I can pull that up. You can imagine that when I get to part B, I'll use the same heading 1 style. Now for all of these steps here, these are the 4 things that they need to do. I'm going to use the numbered list to tell them the 4 things that they do. So first they're going to double click the Excel file that was created, and I've got an example for them. I'm going to put the example of the file name in italics, and that way it just kind of, for consistency throughout the document, will have italicized text for examples. Step 2, you will receive a warning that tells you that the file format and extension don't match. Click yes. Because yes is an action, because it's something they're actually going to see, like a button name or something on the screen, I'm going to use bold to emphasize that that's what they're looking for. And then I tell them the spreadsheet will open. Step 3, review the records and verify that this is the correct export. Notice that the spreadsheet has columns A through R. These are the fields exported from the heat system. Step 4, double click the worksheet tab and rename it. Example, HCM call records. So I'm going to go ahead and make that italics as well. Alright, now this could be strengthened, or it could be, it'll look a lot better once I get some screenshots in. It might also look better if I provide some spacing in between these different steps. So on your paragraph window, or if you go to page layout, either place, this before and after spacing, this will help provide the amount of spacing in between your paragraphs. Because I'm using a numbered list, I need to say don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. Turn that off. So this is going to put 6 points of space before and after every time I hit enter. Kind of nice. It spreads it out a little bit. 6 points in between. It's not changing the amount of space in between the line itself. That's called line spacing. What we did is we're doing the spacing in between the paragraphs. Alright, now I'm going to paste in some screenshots I've already taken. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. I've got some software called Snagit and Snagit Editor. You might have Snagit or you might not. If you don't have it, then you're going to need to use something like Microsoft Paint or another tool that allows you to get a screenshot and to tighten it up. This is an example of a screenshot I took of my desktop where the Excel file was sitting, and I'm going to use that for step 1. This is an example of the message that pops up when you try to open the Excel file. I'm using that for step 2. So these are the screenshots I've already captured. Sometimes as you're going through the steps, you just grab the screenshot as you're working. That might make the most sense for you. I just happen to have them already saved onto my computer. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first screenshot that I need and copy that, and then I want to show you how to paste that back into this document. This is for step 1, and this is the idea that they're going to double click an Excel file. So I want the screenshot to go in directly under step 1, lined up with the indentation. To do that, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter on my keyboard, and you can notice that that created step 2. All I have to do is hit backspace. That gets rid of the step or the number, but that allows me to keep the indentation. I'm going to Control V to paste in my call records icon, or the screenshot. Now this did pick up with the same amount of space. This is 6 points of space before it. So if I wanted to make that have 2 points of space, I could change that to a 2, but I also have to change the previous paragraph to have 2 points of space after, and that way it moves it up so it's closer to the direction, but still 6 points away from the next one below it. That's kind of an advanced technique, but it's very nice for layout. Alright, now I need to go get the next screenshot and paste that one. I'll follow the same procedure so you can see. This is my screenshot for step 2. I'm going to copy that. At the end of step 2, I've got my cursor blinking. I hit enter, backspace, and then I'm going to Control V to paste that screenshot in. And the same thing, I've got 6 points of space between that and the step. So the before space on the screenshot will be 2, and then I'm going to click back on step 2 somewhere in that paragraph, anywhere, and set the after to 2, and that will pull the screenshot closer, 2 points of space away from the step. Now if this is a little bit too long, I can click the screenshot, go to the Format Picture Tools, and maybe I need to make this pulled in like 6.3 inches, something like that. Alright, so you can see now, and I'll turn my show hide off, how this is starting to lay out. I've got my part A with step 1 and a screenshot, step 2 and a screenshot. I'm going to do a couple more, but I'm just going to fast forward so you can see what it looks like. So I'll do step 3 and 4. So here you can see I've pasted in the screenshots for step 3 and 4. Just a couple of things. With a screenshot like this one for number 3, it might look good with a border around it. So I'll be consistent and I'll always pick the same border color. I'll go with a light gray around it, or maybe I guess it's a dark gray. Pick the dark gray. And then for this one as well, I'll pick the same dark gray. And that way it helps kind of tighten up the way the screenshot looks. I could go back and put it on this first one too. It probably won't show too much, but you can see it. I'll even do it on the second one here. Okay, and that way there's a consistency to how all of the screenshots look. This one might need to come in a little bit more like the other one did, so I'll bring that back down to the same width. On step 4, you can see that my example text right here kind of has a little bit of a hangover with this word records. So if I wanted to push this down to the next line, I'm going to go ahead and actually delete the space out. Let's make it bigger so you can see it. And delete this space out by hitting backspace. And then this is a little cool technique. If you do a shift enter, I'm holding shift down first and then hit enter, what it does is it creates a soft return. So you can see it put in this little arrow to show the soft return. It pushed the information down, but it kept it within the same paragraph. So it doesn't give it a new numbered step. That's helpful when you need to control the line, where things appear on the lines. So what I've got so far is my first page of my job aid. It's called part 1. Now I'm going to switch over to the document that I did that already has the part B and part C, and I want to show you how to get the footer in. So here you can see I've got part B and part C added on the 2 different pages, and now I need to put in a footer. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that my footer goes across all 3 pages because I want page numbers, I want the same language across all of them. So to do that, I'm going to go to Insert, click on Footer, choose the 3 column, and I need to bump this up so I can see it better. So let's go ahead and get this up. I'm going to put in the document's disclaimer for internal use only. This is because in my organization I don't want this sent out to customers. I'm going to put the name of the job aid off to the right. Analyzing help desk calls. I'm going to put the version number in there. That's going to help people when they look at the document to know which version it is. And then I'm going to insert the page number at the current position, just a plain number. And that way each different page has its own number. Delete that extra one and close the header and footer. And now as I look at different pages of my document, I can see that the same footer is across all of them. So what we've done is we've made use of styles, numbered lists, italics and bold, inserted screenshots, we've got our footer in, action-oriented steps for this job aid. If I needed to add any other parts to it or other examples, I can just pick up and move on, but still use the same format. That's the basics of preparing a step-by-step job aid in Word.